What was the lead up to the getting arrested and going to prison?
So Japan for me, just like you, it's something that I love the place. I've been there this was my 5th time, I think, being there. It's always for snowboarding.
You got too comfy.
I got too comfy, man.
You got too
I got real comfortable. Yeah. The thing is, we've done naughty things in Japan for the majority of the times we've been there and never had an issue. This one was different. And the trip started different. Like, we took a couple of mates who had never been to Japan before. One of them had never really seen snow before. Took him out to Hakuba in Nagano, and there was no snow. It was one of the worst seasons they'd had. So in a very small ski village, if there's no snow, there's only really one thing to do, and that is get fuck-eyed drunk. And the Japanese are very good at getting you fuck-eyed drunk.
Best country still to this day that I've been to, and I've travelled around a lot. Best country in the world to get fucking plastered with a local.
100%. They feed off it. They love it.
They love buying you drinks. They like just you don't even have to speak the same language, and you can speak the same language when you're getting fucked up.
We taught so many Japanese people to say cunt. It was amazing.
I got a video on my phone of me trying to explain bikies to them, and I was in a little izakaya. And I've put, like, trying to explain what a bike is. I'm like, they ride bikes and they're in a gang and he's like a Mad Max.
Fucking pretty accurate, to be honest.
Like a Mad Max. But yeah, continue.
So, strong zeros over there. 500 mil of 9% Fury, just going down like cola. Fucking lovely. Have you ever had them?
The 196s?
Yeah, 196s, strong zeros.
9%ers from the 7-Elevens.
Yes,
fucking
yes,
$2 a can.
Yes.
Yeah, I got victimised by them my first night in Tokyo.
You're fucking wankered for $9, bro.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Terrible.
So we got shit-faced. I'll keep the pretense of this fairly short because if you want the full details, go listen to the
Episode 1.
Episode 1.
Episode
Josh
1
goes
of Club
to Japanese jail. So we historically always spend a night or two in Tokyo on the way out because there's a couple of restaurants there that I love to go to, and we like to just hang out in Tokyo. It's a fucking cool place. So we roll in. I'm fucked on the train already. So we get into the hotel and the boys are pretty amped. They're keen to go out. It's fucking 9 o'clock at night at this point. There's no point in going out because it doesn't happen until fucking 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, right?
Yeah.
So I said, me and my mate are going to go back to the hotel, have a snooze, and then we'll reconvene. And a couple of the boys were like, I'm going to go find some Coke. So I was fine, exactly, straight to the Somalians. So, and mate, fucking, it was like $100 a gram, and it was rocket fuel, right? It's some of the best shit you've ever had. I'd go back to Japan just for that. So they end up procuring some of the marching powder. And they come storming back into the hotel room, like kick the fucking door off the hinges pretty much. They're that fucking on. They're like, this shit is fucking on. And we end up having this little hotel room party. Now, in the background, I'm flicking away on Bumble trying to get some action, right? And I match with this Russian bird.
I was going to say, you're not going to get any Japanese pussy, but you'll get a Russian everywhere you go.
Well, the Japanese actually don't mind a gaijin, a little foreign action. Yeah, they find us beautiful for some reason.
People would come up to me and take pictures with me.
Yeah.
For no reason whatsoever.
Well, yeah, you probably get photos taken of you in fucking downtown Perth, mate, because you are kind of interesting looking.
Oh, fuck.
You got a crazy haircut and fucking tattoos on the side of your head.
Yeah.
You're an outlier, mate.
Yeah, nice.
So I match with this Russian bird, and she says, let's meet at the Park Hyatt, which is a very nice hotel, which should have been my first warning sign, to be honest. I meet her, and I say to the boys, look, I'm going to go meet her. If she's cool, I will bring her out and meet you guys. So you guys go find a bar, and we'll reconvene. If she's a fucking psycho or a weirdo, I'm going to ping her, and I'll come meet you, and we'll just do our night. Cool, no worries. So I go out, meet this girl. She's actually very cool. She lives in Japan. She runs tours for other Russian fucking tourists and shit. The Park Hyatt starts to close. We've had a few whiskeys. She's like, do you want to go to a bar? And I was like, yeah, cool, no worries, but you're going to have to take me somewhere because I don't know the place. We're in Roppongi. And she's like, do you like... Yeah, I know, right? Do you like playing darts? Like, do you like pool and stuff? I was like, fuck yeah, sounds great. She's like, okay, I know this cool sports bar. So we go there. Of all of the pubs and bars in Roppongi I could have walked into, we walk in the door and my two mates are standing at the bar.
Wow.
How serendipitous. And my two mates have managed to procure more of this marching powder. So they proceed to get fuck-eyed drunk. I have to pretend that I don't know them because I've told her that I'm traveling solo.
Oh, no. Now you got to double down on the lie.
It's this awkward thing, and it just kind of got a little bit weird. They end up getting fuck-eyed drunk, and literally one of them had to be carried out. He was fucked. I get this message on Messenger saying, we've left a bag under the vase in the bathroom. If you want it, go and get it. So I did. And me and this girl end up like booking a little karaoke room off to the side and just railing this bag. Nothing left in it at the end of the night. They were trying to sting me as well. Like, I got charged $3,500 on my credit card for these bottles of fucking champagne that they kept bringing me that I never asked for.
Rapongi's fucked,
I know. It's a tourist trap. I think this girl
worked for the bar.
Correct. But I think she actually ended up liking me at the end, and there was like
a love story.
There was a change because we left the club together to go back to her place. As we walk out, 6:30 in the morning, there's 4 police officers standing at the door.
Oh, you're dicked.
4 police officers. And they're after her, not me.
Oh.
They stop her and they say, empty your handbag. She pulls out her stuff, pulls out a rolled up 1,000 yen banknote. And they're like, why have you got this rolled up? And she's like, well, I don't know. She speaks perfect Japanese. So bear in mind, this is all going on in Japanese. I've got no idea going, yes, sashimi, good, yes, yes. Do you know how to say cunt?
Oishi.
Yeah. Oishi. So this is all going on. But I get the gist of it that this is not going the way that I want it to be going. Then they focus on me. They're like, where's your ID, passport? I didn't have it because... You know, like a traveller, you put the passport in your safe and you keep it there.
Yeah, you don't take it out with you.
In Japan and most countries, it's actually a felony to not have some form of identification to produce when asked for it by a police officer.
I didn't know that.
All right, so they use that as the premise to arrest me.
Cunts.
So they arrest me, they arrest her. Put us in the back of the paddy wagon, take us to Roppongi police station. Now, at this point, I'm thinking... I'm fuck-eyed, Sav. Like, I'm very, very drunk at this point. I've been drinking piss for fucking 12 hours, done a bunch of rack. I'm not fucking in a good place. So they take us back, and I think in my head that I'm okay because this bag got finished ages ago. I don't have anything on me anymore. They can't do me with anything. So I get put into an interrogation room. We get split up. And they're talking to me, how do you know this girl? Blah, 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 blah. I give them a story, half of a story. They're like, okay, we need to search you. I said, no worries. So pull out my keys, pull out my wallet, pull out my phone, slap the phone on the table. On the back of the phone was an empty bag stuck to it. The whole vibe of the room changed. Immediately, they placed me in handcuffs. They snatched my phone. They snatched the bag and went into an evidence bag. And I've got an interpreter in there. There is 8 detectives in the room with me. And they've all got cauliflower ears. It's Roppongi police station. It's like judo. They are not fucking around.
And for people who don't know, who've never been to Japan, it's not like if you have interactions with Australian cops, you can kind of have some humour. Even if they're arresting you or if you've been in trouble before, if you don't get a dickhead of a cop, he will be semi-humorous and a human. Cops in Japan are so fucking stoic.
You could not be more correct. They do not have the time to fuck around. And I think that just comes purely because of the population in Tokyo. You don't have time to fuck around. And the things they must see on a day-to-day basis would be insane. But the vibe of the room changed. I get put in handcuffs. And the interpreter looks at me basically going, oh shit, you fucked up here. Like, this is not good. And still at this point, I was like, it's an empty bag. You know, what can they really do me for? What I didn't realize in Japan was that possession and consumption are treated the same.
Oh, you fucking wanker. So even if you got an empty bag, they just presume you fucking got a kilo in it. They're like, yeah, this looks like it'd fit a kilo in there.
Correct. So they use the empty bag as premise to obtain a warrant for my urine sample. Now, I've seen CSI Miami. The first thing you say is, I'm not doing shit until I speak to a lawyer. And they say, cool. You can have a lawyer in 24 to 48 hours. I have a warrant for your piss in 2. And if you don't give it to me, I'll take it from you forcefully.
How do you forcefully take someone's piss? I would have held out to see how they did it.
I asked. I said, catheter, and the interpreter was like, yes.
Oh,
and
no.
I said,
I'm
let's do
pissing.
this, boys. Oh, I'm pissing.
Your piss is melting the cup.
Literally. So they roll me into it feels to me like at this point, you know, when you're coming down and, you know, you're so drunk and you're in such a surreal
You
situation.
need another line.
Yeah, bad. I walk into what seemed like an endless row of urinals, like 1,000 just stretched on like the Matrix in this surgically clean white bathroom. And I'm not even exaggerating. There was 19 police officers standing in a line. The urinals ran this way. They were standing perpendicular to it. And women police officers, men police officers, plain clothes, uniformed, watching me fill this cup. Now, I've been on a fucking coke bender for fucking 12 hours. You think it took me 40 minutes to find my dick. Then I pull it out and I finally fill this cup. Piss all over my hands. It's very embarrassing. And I give it back to them and off they trot. Mate, Japanese efficiency, they came back with my positive sample in like 40 minutes.
In Australia, it takes 3 weeks.
Exactly. 40 minutes, positive sample on the desk. And immediately everything changed then. They put me on a bus and sent me to Asakusa detention center.
Do your friends know what's happened?
No idea. So, the morning I got arrested, I had a booking for Kakaya by the Sea, was my favourite restaurant, that night. And the following day after that, I was due to fly out. So, I don't come home that day. The boys are thinking, he's with that chick. Like, it's all G. We've got dinner, he'll fucking show up. Because they're trying to ring my phone and shit, and it's obviously off. So, they're at dinner, and I don't show up. And now they're like, holy fuck, something's wrong. Josh is missing. The first thing they think is he's fucking dead or he's been kidnapped. Like, they don't think he's been banged up. I've been banged up. And we're due to fly out the following day at like 10 a.m. So they've got between 9 o'clock at night and 10 a.m. to fucking do something. So they ring hospitals, they're ringing police stations, and we got a lot of friends in Japan reaching out to them to see if they can help. But no one talks in Japan. So you get arrested, you've got 3 days in detention before you can see a lawyer.
Or even make a phone call of some
No
sort.
phone calls,
And who the
nothing.
fuck are you going to call? Like,
You can only call in Japan.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
how are you going to know any numbers to
I
call
don't-
anyone?
exactly
You've got
right.
to call the Australian embassy or
Exactly
something.
right. So I knew that they were still there, and I knew that they'd be there for 2 more days. I was in jail. They were frantically trying to figure out where I was in the interim. My first night, I get taken back to Asakusa, and they do the whole thing, you know, like to make you squat and cough and, you know, yada, yada, yada. I get put into the cell with what I called like the Japanese Darth Vader. He was tiny, a tiny man, but had the deepest voice. Like, imagine like a Japanese Darth Vader, but with emphysema. Like, it was hell deep. Very, very not like him. And like the voice didn't match the fucking face is what I'm saying. And he spoke no English. So I was just in there with this random dude. Dinner time came, and that's the first kind of glimpse I got into how fucked this food situation was there. Like, it's just a bento box, but with like cured fish that smelt like the bottom of a cray pot. Like,
It's to Japanese taste. It's not to Western taste.
all cold. No hot food
Yeah.
at all. So I had to deal with that. I ate what I could. I wasn't really that hungry at that point anyway. I was kind of stressing.
I was going to say, were you like trying to be relatively calm?
Yeah.
Or like, were
Yeah.
you fucking... Because if that was me, I would just succumb and be like, this is my life now. I have to stab someone.
To assert dominance.
I'm going to have to find the biggest Japanese man and headbutt him or something.
Well, the thing is with the detention centres is that it's kind of like our lockup here in Perth, or in Australia, where the detention centre in its infrastructure is very, very primitive, but you're there for a long time. So
we would call it a remand centre.
yeah, but no outside at all. I didn't see the sun in fucking 3 months.
Wait, how long were you there for?
I was there 71 days in total.
Oh my god, I thought you were going to say you found your mates and like it was happily ever after you were in jail.
Nearly 3 months, yeah.
But did your parents know where you were?
Yeah, well,
Your friends,
eventually.
so when did your friends find out?
So, I'm having dinner with...
I Are you okay? Did that like severely damage you?
It didn't.
Did you make boys in there?
Yeah, I've still got some on Instagram.
Did you join a gang?
Yeah, I wanted to.
I thought you were there for fucking 2 days.
No, I was there for 3 months, brother.
Dude, that's fucked.
Yeah. So I was having dinner with Japanese Darth Vader, and then eventually another dude comes into the cell. He's a young guy, Yude, who was like a DJ. He's kind of like a cool Japanese kid, and he could speak a little bit of English. So this is the first opportunity I got to kind of ask him, like, what's the deal here? Like, how fucked am I? And he was like, look, I don't really know about sentencing and stuff, but from here, tomorrow morning, you go to the prosecutor's office.
There'd be visa issues and stuff as well, surely.
Possibly. And then the next day after that, you got to go to the judge's office. So that's kind of all I knew going in. Lights out. Well, I say lights out, but that's part of the fucking mental warfare aspect of those places. The cell's very small. Like, from that blackboard to that blackboard, this is the space we had for 3 people.
Yeah, like a 3x3.
Exactly, if that. And they're wedge-shaped, so they kind of come in at the front.
Absolute dogs.
Dogs. And where there's nothing in the room. It's just empty, right? It's just like carpet on the floor. No beds, nothing. So at bedtime, you have to go out to the storeroom, pull out your like bed, which is like a doona folded in half. And you lie on that, and a pillow this sized, very skinny, like a pizza box. It's very, very uncomfortable. And they don't turn the lights off at night. And the guards are walking around fucking clanging keys and shit. And I'm a bad sleeper at the best of times, so that was pretty fucking troubling, traumatic. But I end up going to sleep, and because I've just been on this fucking, ruckus couple of days, I fell asleep pretty quickly.
Would have thought it was a bad dream.
Yeah, no shit. But I woke up, unfortunately, I was still there. And I had to go to the prosecutor's office. So that process is they take you out of your cell. Well, the process for the jail itself, wake up 6 a.m, you go out, you're allowed out of your cell to brush your teeth at the taps, which are like right out the front of the cell. And then they give you a toilet brush, a bucket, and a vacuum. You got to vacuum the cell, clean the toilet, hand it back, and then each cell does that. There's like 11 cells lined up kind of in like a semicircle around these taps. And then after that, you can go out to what I call the kennel, which is like basically the size of your shed here, but with a mesh roof.
Dogs.
And you're allowed to shave out there. You get 10 minutes, and then you got to go back. And then you don't leave again. So you're inside 23 plus hours. A day. You're sat on the cell. All you can do in there is read or write. You can't do both at once.
Smoke?
No smoking.
Good.
No smoking. They banned smoking in all Japanese prisons like fucking 10 years ago.
Fucking dog.
Oh, the Japanese hate it because Japs love a smoke.
Fucking dogs.
The Japs love a smoke.
So at what point did your friends find out?
So I go to the prosecutor's office. I do that, and I find out that they're only charging me with not having my passport. And I'm like, holy shit, maybe the detectives haven't like lodged the charge yet. So if I can get out and they can't find me to rearrest me, I'm out. So I wanted to play that angle. So I go to the prosecutor, no worries. Next day, go to the judge. The judge decides whether it's right to detain me for another 10 days while they investigate my crime. My crime being no passport. So I go see the judge, and the judge is like, the whole judge system is crazy. I'll touch on that in a minute, but the judge basically said, no, I don't believe you should be detained for another 10 days. Based on this charge, I'm going to release you. Fucking awesome. Now I'm doing the maths in my head. I'm going to go back. My passport's at the hotel still. I'm hoping the boys have packed a bag. I'm going to go straight to the hotel. I'm going to go straight to the airport. I'm going to call my dad, let him know I'm okay. If I can get into the departure lounge, they can't get me there. I'm done. I don't care if the fucking flight's in 4 days. I'm going to sit there until I can get the fuck out.
You've made an escape plan.
That's the plan in my head, right?
Michael Schofield.
Now, I think they did this to me on purpose, but...
They tried to give you false hope.
Yeah. I think they did this to me on purpose. They fill the bus. So the bus gets filled with prisoners from all the other detention centers. Roppongi, Asakusa, Shibuya, Shinjuku. They're all the detention centers all filled up. They dropped me off last. I was the very last person to get off the bus. And that only happened that one night. I get back. And the guy's like, you're being released. And I'm like, holy fucking shit, it's happening. I'm getting out. They give me my shoes back. They lace them for me. They put my jeans on. They put my fucking jacket on. They open the door, and the 2 detectives that originally arrested me are standing there with another pair of handcuffs. Rearrest me.
What was the feeling like when you seen it?
Heart sank, bro. Now the process starts again. So now I've got to go back to the prosecutor's office the next day, back to the judge's office. Now I'm on a drug charge, and it's consumption. This is bad. This is now bad. I get back, and on the following day, after I get back from the prosecutor's office having this conversation, I get back, and I've got this duty lawyer. This is the first time I've been able to speak to someone about it. And this duty lawyer comes in, can't speak fuck all English. He's fucking 900 years old. He's got the Japanese law book with him. And I say to him through the interpreter, so like, what's the go here? Like, what's the worst case scenario? And she says through him, or he says through her, the minimum sentence for your charge is 7 years in jail. The minimum sentence. And immediately I was like, yeah, fucking
makes my hands
pardon?
sweaty.
7 years. And Japanese jail isn't just like go sit in fucking Heikia and play PlayStation. It's a working prison.
It's a slave labour farm.
Yeah, you make bags for 7-Elevens, like folding fucking paper bags. And it's fucking regimented. So like I got fucking pretty worried at that point. So we finished this meeting. I have no confidence in this fucking lawyer whatsoever because they just have to do it. It's part of the fucking rule. Like every 6 months or something, they have to like look after someone for free. Didn't give a fuck about me at all. I asked them at that point to be like, can you send an email for my dad? Here's his fucking email. Just let him know that I'm okay. Yeah, okay. They didn't send it. So I go back to my cell. Sitting there, have dinner. Jap cop comes over. He's like, Nanaban, you get numbers. So I was number 7, Nanaban. Nanaban, Bengoshi. I turned to Yude. I was like, Bengoshi, what's that? He's like, lawyer. I was like, I just fucking met the lawyer. What do you mean? Anyway, go and see this new lawyer. And it's this chick. She speaks beautiful English. First words out of her mouth was, Josh, your dad sent me. And I was like, oh, shit. Woo! Yes. Someone knows where I'm at.
Shout out to Mr. Gray.
Yes. And now I've got a lawyer that can fucking speak English. And turns out, crazily, Moi Miyamoto, the lawyer, was married to a guy from Perth. Oh. And they lived in Tokyo. And she works for one of the best defense lawyers in the country. And she was amazing. Cost me a fortune, but she was amazing. So at that point, I knew that at least my family knew that I was alive for a start.
You haven't contacted any of them
at
this point. You haven't heard their voices or anyone. You're just fucking in Japan eating fermented fish.
Yes. And she told me that the boys had gone home, which was very important to me because...
You didn't want them to wait there for you.
Well, I had to lie to the police about who I was with, where I was staying, how I found the coke.
Because they would have piss tested them too.
Immediately. They would have raided the hotel. And, like, I saw photos when they did eventually find out where I lived when I told them.
You took the fall, bro.
They went back to the hotel, took photos. There's empty bags in Macca's fucking containers and shit. They would have been fucked.
See how blessed we are in Australia, people?
I know.
See how fucking blessed we are in Australia.
Do you know, in my empty bag, there was 0.03 of a gram remaining.
You could give a baby that and they'd be fine.
Yeah, they'd be fine. And yeah, that's what I got charged for.
What was the feeling like when they said, Josan, free? Were you just like...
after the whole thing?
You're like, were you... It's hard, like, that would have been such a while. I didn't realise it was fucking that long.
Yeah.
I held out hearing this story thinking, oh, dude, that's like a Bert Kreischer machine level story. Because... But this actually happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was wild.
They could make a movie of that, and that's a really good plot.
Yeah. So that next day, I had to go to the prosecutor's office, and then I told them the actual story.
Why wasn't this in the news?
It was.
Was it?
Yeah. I was on Perth Now and shit.
Really?
Yeah. If you search Josh Tokyo, it's one of the first links that comes up.
Dude, what was like... Did a lot of them in jail speak English?
No. There was maybe 2 guys in there that spoke half decent English.
Did you pick up Japanese kind of?
No. I can ask for shit like toilet paper, like Tanto-san, mizu kudasai, that's officer, can I have some water? Or chirishi kudasai, which is like, give me toilet paper.
What was like? Did you bump out? Was there anyone in the prison that was like a bit fucking sketch?
Yeah.
Well, obviously they're in prison, they would be, but did anyone stand out
Not
to
so
you?
much sketchy. Asakusa is a very historical part of Japan, a very old part of Japan. So if I was stuck in Roppongi Detention Center, that's where all the gangsters are. The
I was going to say, because
Yakuza.
Roppongi's
Notorious.
Roppongi's where you go as a Westerner to party hard.
Correct.
It's like I don't know, what would you, like a Seminyak or like whatever you would...
Like Patong, that Bangalore Road or whatever. Pattaya, that's the one I'm thinking of, yeah.
But fucking... in Japan, it's very... Like, in Japan, when you see a hard cunt, it's very different to seeing a Western hard cunt. Because in Japan, if you're a hard cunt, you have to be a hard cunt. You know what I mean? It's that sounds weird, but it makes sense when you're there. Because in Japan, the government is so on everyone that if you're willing to juxtapose what they want you to do and go against what they want you to do, you're a bad man.
Yeah, they'll make you suffer.
Like, you are a bad, bad man. I only saw one Yakuza while I was there. I could tell it was a Yakuza because he was a very old man, had heaps of tattoos, and he was missing a finger.
That's a dead giveaway.
Yeah, it was all the signs.
In Asakusa, there was no Yakuza guys. There might have been a couple upstairs. I was in the downstairs one, and to be honest, like the majority of the guys on my level were drugs or stealing. And there's a couple of really old dudes in there.
What did they call you?
Like Nanabang. That we just called each other by numbers. No, number
really?
7.
Your numbers. Number
Squid
Games.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, did that fuck you up for a while?
No.
Now, like, hindsight, it's a hilarious story, but at the time, you would have been like, my poor family.
Yeah, like I think while I was in there, the thing that weighed heaviest on me was like I'm a very independent, self-sufficient human. Like in the most part. Being a burden on other people, especially my dad, who had not been having a great time at the time, and then having to deal with me as a fucking 35-year-old man who should know better.
This was like not long ago.
It was 2020. That's an aspect
of right before COVID. Isn't it?
I got arrested February 2020. You know what happened in February 2020?
What happened in February 2020?
COVID.
Bro, imagine if you got stuck over there for COVID.
That's what was going to happen. I was there the whole time. I didn't get out for 3 months. So I didn't get out February, March, April, end of April I got out.
You're so lucky.
Bro, they were contemplating cancelling my trials because people were getting infected.
You're so lucky, bro. You could still be in there today.
Golden Week was after the trial, which was like tools down for the Japanese. They don't do anything. I could have been another 6 months, but because my lawyer was so good, she pushed and pushed and pushed to not get my trial cancelled, which I think was one of my saving graces.